Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Lump Dog, your favorite fantasy football commissioner's favorite fantasy football commissioner, and this is week number 5 in the PPH Fantasy Football League Commissioner Message. Yeah, what's going on, y'all? So, what went down in PPH? I bet you the same thing that happened in a lot of leagues this week, I should say, and that's big scores, big scores. It was a high-scoring week in the league. If you didn't have one of the players that went off, like Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Will Fuller, Aaron Jones, who else went off? Dak Prescott, even he looked dead in the water and he ended up doing pretty well. Yeah, you had one of those guys, DJ Chark, or even Deshaun Watson. If you didn't have a piece of any of those guys and you really didn't score many points, there was a big scoring week, and hopefully you had him in your lineups and not on your bench. Deshaun Watson on your bench with 77. Patty, my goodness. Not like you couldn't use those points, right? But anyway, yeah, so big scores all around. I ended up pulling out my game with some Monday Night Magic. I couldn't believe it. I only had a 58-point lead, and the Mollywops had Eckler, Mayfield, Chubb, Goodwin, Kelsey, and Nicole Hardman all to go in the afternoon, night games, and Monday night. And all he needed was 58 points. In between Kelsey, Hardman, and Eckler, he got like 21 of it, so left about a 38-point deficit come Monday. And your boy pulled it out. Man, I couldn't believe it. It was quite a sight to see. I mean, in our league with 1 point every 10 yards passing, our quarterbacks score pretty big numbers. So 30 points is a shitty game, really. I mean, that's super easy to get. A couple touchdowns, to only 200 yards passing, or even 300 yards passing with no touchdowns, we could get it done, especially with Chubb chipping in. And then Goodwin, I thought for sure, would chip in his 5 or 6 extra points he could needed to put him over the top. But wow, really pulled it out. As Duke in the league, man, nobody has Monday Night Magic like me. I don't know what it is about Monday night, but if I am not in a just buried situation, I always seem to come up with the points necessary, or the team just comes up short in the points necessary to beat me on Monday night. And I don't know what it is, but I'll keep taking it as long as it happens. So whatever the fantasy gods, you need, any more sacrifices that you guys need out there, I will continue to do it, because pulling those games out Monday night definitely pretty exciting for Monday night. Plus my Niners, 4-0. They just look dominant on defense. Offense still looks a little shady. They can run the ball, but really waiting to see what it looks like when our run gets shut down and the game puts on Jimmy G's shoulders. I'm not feeling too confident in him in that type of game scenario. But hey, we'll stack our wins while we can get them, and hopefully he can grow into the offense and find a way to win those games when they come down to it if they shut down the run game. Anyway, the other thing I wanted just to talk about real quick is the value of your players, because Brent seems to keep trading away players that he's just getting raped on. His first trade was trading away Chubb for Gallman and Calvin Ridley. Okay, so that's obviously a complete trade rape. But he offered it to the Mollywops. Like I said last week, he offered it to him. Mollywops just went ahead and accepted the trade, which is no fault to them. But I mean, Brent, and then again follows up that trade with this week's trade, where he trades away T.Y. Hilton for Philip Lindsay. And the team that he traded for Philip Lindsay had Royce Freeman. How do you not get Royce Freeman in that deal? I mean, if Lindsay goes down, you're dicked out. You don't have nothing. I tried to send him a text message. I sent him the trade value chart, which, by the way, in the trade value chart, it's like 29 or 19-9 or something like that. It's completely flopped on him. So yeah, he just got totally trade raped again. I don't know why he just my luck. Brent continues to want to get taken in these trades, but I mean, you got to know the trade value of your guys. And like I said, that trade value chart, it's not the Holy Bible. It's not like, oh, well, the trade value chart shows this and this, and I can't make that trade because of it, but it gives you an idea of what the value of your guy is. And it's available through the app. You don't need the website. So if you go over to advice from the homepage and then go to articles, every week there's articles about start and sit, hots and colds, who's hot, who's cold, trends. But then there's also a trade value chart. Every week it's updated. It comes out, I think, on Tuesdays. So you know what? Just check that before you offer or you accept a trade, because it gives you just an idea like, okay, well, this guy's at 29 and this guy that I'm getting is a 9. Well, maybe I should get a little bit something more instead of just doing this 1-for-1 straight across. So again, it's something to give you an idea, give you some sort of resemblance of what's a good trade and what isn't a good trade, or at least the value of those guys. Now, again, it's not the Bible, so you can make trades that are, off that, because I don't believe in it 100%. But again, to give you just, if you have no clue of what the value of your guy is, at least it gives you an idea. So if you're trading a 1-for-1 guy and it's like on that trade value chart, like I said, a 29 to 9, maybe you should be asking for a little bit more in the offer, not just doing it straight across 1-for-1. So rookies, what can you do? I mean, it's only his second year, so can't really. He took a year off or 2 years off, so try not to beat him up too much. I'm there to help you, bro. That's why I try to send you all those links and show you where exactly the trade value chart is, so you can understand. Then you come to me asking me if I want to trade any of my receivers. Really, bro? Other than Alex Jones now on your team and Matt Ryan, those are the only two guys with any value anymore. Phillip Lindsay, I guess he has some value, but without being able to get Royce Freeman in a deal, I mean, who's going to really just trade for Phillip Lindsay without being able to handcuff him? I don't think many people, maybe a few, but not many. So you really, I feel, downgraded your team. I feel like you're one of those teams in the bottom half now. I feel it's Dirty High Tea, Patty's Playboys. Those two are definitely out of the playoffs, I feel, right now, both with 4 losses. Really can only afford 3 more. 2 to stay in fantasy contention. 3 will come down to your points scored in a tiebreaker, most likely, and your points for are not good at all. So I feel those two are pretty much on the outside looking in. I think Brent now will probably end up, unless Aaron Jones or Alex Jones or Aaron Jones, whatever his name is, A. Jones from Tampa or from Green Bay, unless he gets, bust off for 40 points again, or Calvin Ridley has a huge game with Matt Ryan, it's going to be hard for him to come by points, I feel. And he's just loaded up now on the Atlanta. It's Matt Ryan, Ridley, Sanu, and Hooper. He's just going all in on Matt Ryan, which is fine. Again, you just don't seem to have a plan, because earlier when I was going after Garoppolo in the beginning of the year, you were talking about how much you love Garoppolo and you were going to use him for a few games. Now you're all in on Atlanta, so it just seems that you just seem to be winging it as you go, which is fine too. That's completely acceptable. But with no plan or no action plan, you really just seem to be kind of flopping in the wind. Also, just want to make sure you guys out there, all my viral viewers, you like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button in YouTube. Hit the bell to be notified when new content is uploaded, so you can stay up on what's good in the PPH Fantasy Football League, because we do have a bunch of characters. Again, last bit of information before we get into the games, man. Hey, this year, where's the participation? Where's the other participation? I'm here. I'm filming. Come through. Hey, you know what? It makes it a much more interactive and much better commissioner message when we have other owners in the league who are actually involved and come through and sit down, get some questions asked by the commissioner about their team, and come in here and put your face on video. Talk your shit to the league then, because right now I'm the only one that does it. So it'd be good if we got some other owner participation. So with that, let's go ahead and get into last week's game, Week 5 in PPH. Okay, here we go. Here's Week 5 in the Pimps, Players, and Hustlers Fantasy Football League. In our first game, we got the 289ers taking out the Basket of Deplorables, 135.7 to 102.4. As you can see, the 289ers improved to 4-1. They are our highest average scoring team per week, averaging over 130 points a week. Makes it very difficult to beat him. Mahomes being a big part of that. Though he's been pretty pedestrian the last couple weeks with only 39.8 points, not 50 points. So still good, though. James Conner goes in with 11.5, 26 from Thielen, and then 12.5 from Greg the Leg Zuerlein, and then 20 from the Niners D, which has been a solid drafted defense. Basket of deplorables, not a lot going on in this team this week with only 102.4 points scored. Lamar Jackson's really cooled off lately with only 20.1, 18 from Julian Edelman, Juju Smith-Schuster with 10.5, 10.8 from Crosby, and then 18 from the Patriots D. I know Tommy's missing Devontae Adams, and I know that's got to be hurting him. Also, Juju Smith-Schuster losing Big Ben has really put a damper on his, output so far this season. So he's dealing with some adversity. Falling to 2-3, 289ers improving to 4-1. In the next game, we got the URSO taking out Patty's Playboy 133.2 to 88.7. I guess Patty's Playboy's got the dumb start of the week. I mean, I guess Brady against the Redskins wasn't that dumb, but when you got 77 from Deshaun Watson on your bench, that's got to hurt. So, especially when your scoring is really down. Brady with 49.8. Not much else going on the Patty Wax Playboy squad. 13 from the Texans D, but his thinking's really got me confused because he last week all reports show that Melvin Gordon wasn't going to play. He was going to be an emergency quarterback only, and then this week he's going to start. He starts him last week and sits him this week. Doesn't make sense. Didn't really affect him because he got his teeth kicked in, but still a very odd way to do your starts and sits on your roster. URSO 15.1 from Phillip Rivers. He kind of shit the bed there. Alvin Kamara with 11.7. Tampa Bay's run defense has actually been pretty solid so far this season. 10.9 from Mixon. 42.7 from Will Fuller. Shows up big time. 11.7 from Ertz. And then 17.4 from the Tucker that fucker. And then 12 points from the Saints defense. Pretty solid score all around. What I don't understand about URSO, though, is he was hemming and hawing about starting Andy Dalton. Oh, I picked this guy up 2 weeks ago specifically for this matchup. I didn't like Rivers against Denver, and then he ends up sitting Andy Dalton for Rivers. And then to top it off, he starts Tate, but doesn't start Dalton, and then sits DJ Chark. And DJ Chark, as you can see here, goes off for 30 or 29.4 points, and then Andy Dalton with 38.7. Could have gotten 15 extra more points, but from the Dalton or so, could have got 18 more points or so. But is what it is. He gets the win. He improves to 3-2, and Patty's Playboys is on the outside looking in at 1-4. And the next game, we got the Juggernauts losing to Just My Luck, 122.1 to 149.9. The Juggernauts, man, not a lot going on in the squad this week. Michael Thomas showed up big, and Cooper Kupp. Both his receivers are pretty, his 1 and 2 receivers have been really smashing it of late. Aaron Rodgers, I guess, is the big problem on his squad. He's just not playing like Aaron Rodgers. With only 23.8. Leonard Fournette shown up the last 2 weeks with big points, 20.7. And then Devontae Freeman finds the end zone, so I'm sure he's happy about that, 13 points. And then, as I said, the receivers have just been killing it. Cooper Kupp, the Super Cuck, with 18.7, and then Mike Thomas with 31.2. Just My Luck. I don't know what his issue is with his trading of players, but this week it really didn't hurt him. Didn't really need Chubb. Went ahead with 49.9 points. 56.7 from Matt Ryan, who looks to be just having the same issue as he had last year. No defense, having to throw, can't run. So solid number one quarterback. Aaron Jones there with 43.2, shows up out of nowhere with big points. 14.8 from Ridley, 10.3 from Sanu, and then 13 from the Vikings D. just my luck is just all in on the Atlanta Falcons now with Ryan, Ridley, Sanu, and then now he traded for Austin Hooper. So kind of crazy for him to just go selling all out there. Worked for him this week. Keeps him in it. He proves to 2-3. Juggernauts, they fall to 2-3. So both teams moving in the opposite direction. In the next game, we got the rookies taking out Dirty High T, 132.1 to 100. Man, rookies with just 5-0, sitting at the top of the standings all by his lonesome. Second highest scoring team, averaging over 125 per week. That makes it pretty difficult to beat him. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, has just been the engine in his team, just taking people out every week. 20-plus points this week with 44.7, 40.6 from Kyle Murray, 14.8 from Kittle. And you can see, man, and all it takes is 3 players, and he gets into the 130s. I mean, nobody else on his team really did much. So that's a little scary when he can score 130 and only have 3 players really kind of put up double-digit points. Christian McCaffrey, though, when he's putting up 44 points, it's going to be pretty hard to beat anybody when they're putting up that many points. Dirty High T, only 100 points. Kirk Cousins finally shows up for the team with 42.9, 14.7 from Gurley. They got to be a little concerned about Gurley. I mean, look at the rush yards, only 51 rush yards. If not for the 2 touchdowns, really it's like a 2-point game for him. So that's scary for Dirty High T. Ezekiel Elliott kind of held in check with only 15.1 points. Has yet to have that breakout game. Bears defense just got smacked up by the Raiders. Couldn't believe that out in London. So Dirty High T falls to 1-4. Rookie again leading the league 5-0. Can't believe Dirty High T already 5 weeks in and they're out on the outside looking in. Better start stacking some wins. In the next game, we got the Brewdogs, our weekly winner, taking out the Haters, 172.4 to 131.8. The Haters with Jeff Goff with 42.6. He's just been throwing it out his ass. They can't run the ball. Gurley ain't playing like he is, so maybe they keep it up and they just keep throwing it. But Dak Prescott, as bad as he looked in that game, he ends up with 52 points with 463 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, even though he has 3 passing interceptions. Again, you guys really screwed up the quarterback scoring. It's just too much. I mean, when you could throw 3 picks and you're still scoring 50 points, that's ridiculous. Dalvin Cook, a number 2 back in the league with 19.8. Kind of scary with no touchdown and a fumble, still scoring almost 20 points there. Derrick Henry with 13.8. Tyler Boyd with 19.3. And then the Chargers D with 18. Lots of people going out for the Brewdogs. Second time he's won the weekly, so congratulations to that. And it's his birthday, so happy birthday there, Dare Pair. 54 points from Russell Wilson started on Thursday night for him. David Johnson with 15.6, but now he's injured with his back. Let's see how that affects his squad. Sony Michel with 18.3, 21.7 from Allen Robinson. I mean, just shows up out of nowhere with 2 touchdowns in London. 31.6 from Amari Cooper, and then that was all it really took. 54, 15, 18, 21, and 31. 4 players all, putting in work there for Dare Pair. He improves to 3-2, and then the Haters falls to 2-3. And in the last game, it's your boy, Mr. Sweet Spot, taking out the Mollyops, 118.6 to 96.8. Man, Jameis Winston scares me, but he pulled out a 33.7 game. I look at that and I'm, man, he sucks. But then I look at what Phillip Rivers and Baker Mayfield did. I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't suck that bad. I can still run with him. Just this week's game in London, 6:30 a.m. start time, Pacific time's got me really worried. But we'll see how it rolls. I mean, he's now stacked me up 3 wins in a row after starting 0-2, so I can continue to start him. Chris Carson's now starting to show up with 19.3 points, got 27 carries in that game on Thursday night against the Rams, so looking good there. Hopefully that workload continues with him, and Rashard Penny doesn't cut into that. Chris Godwin, the number 1 receiver in Tampa Bay now, making Mike Evans just, look at that 0, just ugly. My second round pick is a bust pretty much, but he's my third receiver, which didn't really want it to work out that way, but it is what it is, and hey, I'll continue to ride it as long as it's working. 10.3 from Josh Lambo and the Panthers D with 19, which was really a free agent pickup. I mean, I went over them over Buffalo, and it really kind of nullified a little bit of the Eagles' defensive scoring there, because it pretty much cut it in half there. If I only got like a 3 or 5 spot or something like that, that would have been really really bad. So I have to give myself a little pat on the back for that pickup. Anyway, and start too, because Bills had a pretty good matchup there with the Titans as well. Look at going over to Molly Wop's team, Mayfield with 1 point, and just mentioning that is just, how does a quarterback get 1 point, and with our quarterback scoring, it's just it's awful. So I don't see how he's going to go ahead and continue to roll with Mayfield. But, right now he hasn't made any free agent moves and no trades at this time. But looks like he's kind of backing himself into the corner for trades with no free agent pickup this week, unless he's really serious about playing fuckhead Flacco. Nothing much else there on Molly Wop's team other than Tyler Lockett with 11.1, and then the Eagles D free agent pickup against the Jets with 41 points. So huge there. So, but it wasn't enough. Really, it was really crazy because all my guys were done after the morning games. I had no one in the afternoon, and no one at either on Sunday night or Monday, and all I had was a 58-point lead, and he still had Eckler, Chubb, Mayfield, Goodwin, and Kelsey all left to play after those morning games with only 58 points or so lead. I thought I was done. I really did. I mean, I thought Eckler for sure was going to cut that in half, at least by himself, with 15 or so points, 15, 20 points. But no, he didn't. And then Kelsey and Hardman. Oh, he had Hardman too. Really, again, between all three of those, really only got about 21 points or so to set up the Monday night, which I still thought I was going to get face pumped because Mayfield and Chubb, I thought for sure were easily good enough for 38. And then in Goodwin. And I thought, that 5.6 Goodwin got, I figured that was going to put him over the top at least. But Mayfield just, shit the bed. So that's got to be concerning of him. My Monday Night Magic still exists, still is alive and kicking. It's still got a little bit left in the tank. If anyone has any questions about it, just go ask Duke. He'll let you know about Lump's Monday Night Magic. It's just been ridiculous these last couple seasons how anything I need on Monday night seems to happen. Whether it's the other team being held in check or my guys going off on Monday to get the win, it's been happening. So I'll continue to ride it. I know it's all luck, but, love it while it happens. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, I go ahead and improve to 3-2, and Molly Wops falls to 2-3. Well, there you go. There was Week 5 in the Pimps, Plays, and Hustlers Fantasy Football League. All right, well, there you go. There was Week 5 in PPH. Like I said, there was some big scores. New high score for the year put down by Dare Pair with a 172. As you probably saw, most of the people on his team went off except for DeAndre Hopkins, which was his first-round pick. That's his biggest bust so far right now. A lot of first-round busts going around at the moment. So, especially with the receivers, Devontae Adams not really had one good game, but then he got injured. DeAndre Hopkins really not doing anything. Julio Jones started off the season well, hasn't really had any big games the last couple weeks. Other first-round guys, Barkley got hurt, hasn't really been producing. Christian McCaffrey looks like he should have been the first pick overall in the draft. The guy's just a beast. Keeps putting up major points, and that debate at the beginning of the season between Barkley and Ezekiel, looks like they forgot to add in CMC into that debate because he's putting it down for real, and he was the 4th pick in the draft. So that's crazy. Other guys that haven't really been producing that in the first round. Again, mainly those receivers. A few of those running backs. I know Chubb was a second-round pick. Only had one big game. It was the first pick in the second round. But yeah, so there you go. There's week 5 in PPH, and we'll check you all next week. Lump Dogs out. Peace.